Welcome to Cross Examine with the Gerbers. Today we have Gabe Cooper, and as you know, I'm Megan Gerber and Ken Gerber.
Hey everyone, welcome. This is our podcast where we like to bring together faith, family, law, and our ministry. And this guest, Gabe Cooper, is a perfect representation of all those things as well. How are you, Gabe?
Thanks for having us, man. We're really grateful to be here and love what you guys are doing. So great job.
Thanks so much. Judging from the shirt, obviously you are with Noggin Boss. This is your business. This is your baby, right?
It is. Yeah. I've had 1,000 bad ideas in my life that thankfully my wife said no to. But this one just had enough kind of fun, creativity, joy that it was like, hey, let's do this. Let's keep pursuing it and see what happens.
So how did it start?
So if you look at like the sports world, right, there's been no innovation for years. You've got a cheese head that's been around for 30 something years.
True.
You've got a foam finger that's been around for 40 years.
Right.
No innovation. And that's for one team. So I'm like, well, we love hats. So let's create something that everybody can actually enjoy. So we came up with a big hat. We tried different sizes at first. We had some that were too small, some that were too big. And then we kind of honed in on what was stadium legal. And then Noggin Boss was born.
So there's stadium legal when it comes to the size of a hat?
There is, because you don't want to block the view of somebody
Sure.
behind you or next to you. So, again, we wanted fans to be able to have a wearable collectible that they could bring to the
Hey,
game.
I think that cheese hat is huge.
It's giant, yeah.
But
There's no way that's legal.
apparently stadium legal.
So you can't block somebody ahead. I wonder if somebody with big hair can't.
Yeah, you got to keep out, in Dallas,
know.
everything's big, right? So you got to watch out for the big
High hair alert in the 80s, I would have been kicked out. That Aquanet, spray it, use the blow dryer. I would have been kicked out for sure.
That's right.
All right. So the exciting thing for a lot of people is your experience on Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
How did you even get on Shark Tank?
So it was a wild ride. I mean, even just when we launched in 2020 in January, you all know what happened 2 months later. Like the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
So again, we came out of the gates thinking like we've got something here, we've got momentum, and then to completely be deflated by every market that we wanted to go after was shut down. So there were no sports, no events, nobody with budgets. So we were like, well, that dream's over. But again, during that time, we just kind of had to figure out how to be good business people, how to be good stewards, and relationships. We made a ton of relationships during that time because nobody else had anything to do. They had a lot of time on their hands.
Right.
And so during that, again, everybody always dreams like, man, if I could only get on Shark Tank, if I could only get on this. And so we applied. And, there was about 40,000 applicants the season that we actually applied for. And every week it was just like, you're trying to make it to the next week. So, we got that exposure, and our strategy was a little bit different going in, but we were actually the fastest closed deal in Shark Tank history. And if you watch the show, again, my poor family, they had to watch every episode leading up to it because we wanted to know, like, what are the sharks like? Well, who would go for what deal? And again, going beforehand, we had to know what we were willing to do before we walked in, because once the lights hit you, you're literally just in go mode. And our strategy was different because every time we watch the show, entrepreneurs overvalue their business and they undervalue what they're going to give away in equity. So we said, why not switch that? Like, we're truly here for a deal. So let's not play games. And so
if you want to be successful, figure out how to do it.
Mm-hmm. So we came out very generous and we said, we're not here for a lot of money and we're going to give you a lot of equity. And every shark was like all over it. So it was really fun to kind of watch them, fight over, who could close the deal with us.
And it happened fast.
It did, very fast. And so much so we didn't even know it. But when we got off, all the producers were super excited and there was a lot of energy in the room. And we were just like, yeah, that was great. Like, we got a deal. And they were like, no, you were actually like, that was the fastest closed deal in the show's history. So again, just a really cool God moment, God door opened. Because again, when you run the numbers, like that's a lot that has to happen for that to turn out like that.
And it's obviously been beneficial for the brand.
It has. Yeah. Again, like when you're launching something new, like it's a new disruptor in that industry. Nobody knew they needed a big hat 5 years ago. So again, when you're talking to entrepreneurs and the challenges of just trying to come up with a product that's already out there or making a product better, we had to launch a product that nobody even knew they wanted. So out of the heels of COVID. So imagine that struggle.
Yeah.
And again, we're still finally getting every new league we encounter, every new license we go after. Nobody's ever had a forecast for a big hat before. So again, we have to just know the value of what our product does.
And how did you stay positive during that time during COVID? Was there a lot of prayer going on? Was there a specific verse that you went to over and over again?
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, like my life verse is Philippians 3:13-14. And the goal behind, that verse is just because like I might have done things in the past, good or bad, I can't count on that for the future. And I got to continue to work hard, continue to put God first, continue to trust the process. And so always having that mindset of where you're grounded in your faith. Entrepreneurs, we get beat up every single day.
No doubt.
And what most people only see on the surface is the highlight reel. So again,
Right.
when you go to Noggin Boss, you see the social media, you see the highlights of everything. They don't see the knockdowns that we get daily. And again, entrepreneurs think like, oh, some point I'll stop getting hit. No, you just get a little bit better at taking those punches. And so COVID, again, initially, like it was devastating. And we just had to trust God that you gave us this idea, you gave us this passion. And if anything, like, you think about COVID, it separated people. Our product, it brings people together. When you wear a big hat and you walk around with it, you're engaging people with smiles. You're engaging with conversations, which again, during that season, we were all told stay away from each other, right?
True.
So it was so fun to watch people connect and even opposing team fans connecting just because of a big hat. It brought smile, it brought dopamine, it brought natural good that, we wanted to bring back into the world. So
Absolutely.
It's just been really cool to watch that passion.
And you said you did a lot of other things before that, trying to get them. What would you say to entrepreneurs that maybe they think, you know what, should I just keep going at it? Or they should just keep praying. Maybe that's not what they're supposed to do. What would you give advice to them if they think, you know what, I keep trying to make the next thing? Man, you're so lucky you were able to find this. Do you feel it's luck or do you feel it's both luck and God? How would you tell people to encourage them out there?
So God obviously puts the passions in our hearts and we have an idea for something. It's okay if that first idea didn't work or you have to tweak it or it leads you to something else. So again, we've run other businesses before that, we knew nothing about this industry before getting into it. So talk about getting a PhD and not knowing what we're doing. Literally everything that happens, we can only point to God and say, well, God did that and God did that and God did that because we're not that good. So to us, that's where the peace really comes in of being a business owner is knowing that we're just a steward of it. We're trying to be the best stewards we can. God didn't give up on us. So, we're going to work hard and we're going to keep going. And again, if you're passionate about what you're doing, it helps you get through those hard times. So again, you got to lean into the positive. You got to lean into God put this on my heart to do this. And just go after it.
So what's one of your favorite fun stories with having the hats? Do you
man.
have a favorite fun story? I'm sure you have a million of them, but do you have like a little giddy story where you're like, I can't believe I'm here, like an aha moment?
I feel like I literally live that daily, but the one most recently, we were in New York for Fanatics Fan Fest, and it was filled with celebrities, athletes, influencers. And again, I'm not cool enough to know who all these influencers are nowadays, but my kids,
I don't either. So.
my kids tell me like, oh, that was like somebody super popular. But we had some goals going into it of who we wanted to get hats to. And of course, like there were the big names. And one of the things that was happening was Tom Brady was going to be there. And so again, it was just a dream. Like, man, if we could ever just get this hat close to Tom Brady. Well, again, God opens this door. He shows up on a podcast with Kevin Hart, shirtless while they're cold plunging.
Oh my gosh.
And puts our hat on.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So again, he's wearing this hat in front of thousands of people. And again, you couldn't claim that. You couldn't say like that was us. Again, that was just another moment where I looked at my business partner and said, there's God again.
There's God.
So, that was, again, a fun one where you can get somebody that's at that level to get excited about your product. Because, again, these people have everything.
Yeah.
But, again, it brings them joy. It brings them a smile.
It's a conversation piece. It's something very, very unique.
That's right.
Yeah, that's great.
And they actually had to have him take it off because they were trying to get images with him without the hat on. So the fact that he loved it that much and took it with him was pretty special.
That's fantastic. So NFL, Major League Baseball?
So Major League Baseball, we don't have yet, but we are chasing. We have NFL, all 32 teams. We've got a plethora of college teams, PGA Tour, UFC. I'm going to forget a couple. We got Savannah Bananas. But yeah, the licenses that we have, Olympics, that was a super special one as well.
Sure.
To get to see the entire like women's gymnastics team wearing our hats. Like it just is heartwarming when you see an entire country being represented with something that you had a little idea for.
Oh, for sure. It's so mind blowing, I'm sure. Especially if you don't see, I always talk about with Tones and Bones with the nonprofit. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like, I'm a business person. I've run the law firm. I've done things business wise. But when it comes to a ministry, I have no idea. Just because you love the Lord doesn't mean you know how to do a ministry. And so it's interesting when God puts us in these places where you kind of have to walk on water and hold his hand and not look down.
That's right.
And do you feel that that's kind of like what you went through with learning all the ropes with this?
Well, and still, I mean, again, every layer of growth requires new skill sets and new layers of faith, where before, when you look back and go, we used to get stressed out at a certain level of payroll. Well, payroll gets bigger, your team gets bigger, you have more people you're taking care of, you have more, staff that you need to encourage and build up and have leadership for. So every layer, again, prepares you for that next step. I have yet to find one where it's like, oh, it's done, we're good.
No, absolutely. Megan and I talk about that all the time with people, that as you advance, as you increase what you're doing, it's the same problems. They're just on a larger scale. And you just never really get to that point where you say, okay, this is smooth sailing here. If you're not running your business, if you're not focusing on it daily and trying to build it, then the opposite is going to happen.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, again, you have to be your best cheerleader. You have to be the best at everything that you're doing within that business, because yes, we have one of our core values is act as owners. We want our team to all act as owners. And again, that's hard because we're staying up till late hours of the night. We're solving problems that most people don't know we're trying to solve. And yet you're still trying to keep the machine going and innovation happening and, expansion. But yeah, it's, when we say we wear many hats, like it is true for every entrepreneur.
Other people probably think your life is perfect now that you have this, right?
Yeah. They think, oh, you made it.
Right.
Yeah.
You made it. Now you don't have to grow. Now you don't have to learn. And, I think that's part of the reason why we did this podcast is we're just all the same people. You just get different problems when you have, and I mean, obviously there's a lot of blessings there as well. And it takes a lot of work. There's these people that are influencers that just want to be like one-hit wonders where they're just going to make a bunch of money and they don't have to do anything. Would you say that you work more now than you did before?
Oh, for sure. And I would say even the layers of support and encouragement are highly valuable. Like, what voices are you putting back into your life? Because we get beat up all the time. We get negativity. If you're doing something right, you have competitors coming after you. You have people you thought were friends turning on you. Right. So it's that nature of, you will get attacked. You will have people that don't believe in you. I mean, even to this day, I get people that tell me, and I don't know if they think it's a compliment, but they'll go, oh, I never thought that stupid thing would actually work out. And it's like, thank you.
Right,
is that a compliment?
Right.
But again, you have to know your tribe. You have to know what you believe in, and to get that positivity back in your life. So for example, our headquarters is actually at one of the universities here, Grand Canyon University, and it's filled with other entrepreneurs that are trying to start up their businesses. And what's really cool is we've been able to lend support and encouragement where places they get stuck, because it's lonely when you're starting an Etsy shop or whatever the scale is in your home. You're your own motivation. You're your own, let's get back at it and go at it. We're able to help each other in this ecosystem and really provide encouragement, because we're not attacking each other. We're not competitors. And there's just this really cool sweet spot of having faith within that community, which is also different, but we're also there to help all ships rise.
I love that, because you're giving back at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'm sure people don't know that.
Yeah, I would imagine what you're talking about is the camaraderie with other people who are in a similar venture, a similar, time in their life where they're trying to get things off the ground. And yeah, there's never a time that you will work as hard as when you're working for yourself.
That's right. Yeah. There's no, clock that you get to stop at a certain time. I mean, trying to balance family and entrepreneurialism. Like, I'm so blessed that my wife early on, I mean, when we both graduated from Grand Canyon University, and shortly, like literally the week after she graduated, we opened our first business together. So we've always been entrepreneurial, and I don't know how we would do it. People often ask, like, are you guys just insane? Like, what do you,
Wasn't that a Quiznos?
It was. Yeah. The best to this day, the best sub sandwich shop.
What's
Those
your
are
favorite
great.
sandwich? I ask everybody almost everybody. What's your favorite sandwich?
I mean, the Italian,
I
like
love
that
the
was their
Italian.
starter. You know, you couldn't go wrong. But that was the easiest part of my day was I didn't have to plan my meals. Like I knew what I was going to have for lunch,
Did
for
you ever
dinner.
get sick of sandwiches?
Never, because they had salad, they had
Never get sick of
soup.
sandwiches either. They're the
No.
perfect food.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Is pizza? What does Jack say? A pizza is an open face sandwich.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
believe that?
disagree wholeheartedly.
But I don't. Jack goes, it's an open face sandwich. I see that. It's dough. If you folded it.
Yeah. But having that support system though, and be
Yeah.
able to have that understanding of there's seasons, like I'm about to go travel international. So I'm going to be gone from the family for a week. Well, guess what? Before that, we have to have dedicated time of what are we doing with the family? Are we pouring into it? Are we going to the kids' games? Are we doing something extra so that when I'm gone, I don't feel like I'm gone. And so again, you have to know how to balance that, but being able to have that support system that knows the highs and the lows, that can speak into it. And I would say candidly, your spouse, if you're married, if you're not married, find a friend that can fill this role. But there's people with outside perspective that you need to have, that you need to hear sometimes going, yeah, maybe I didn't handle that conversation right. Maybe I was a jerk when I was
have
talking to that
no
person.
idea what you're talking
I'm
about
sure.
with that never happens
No.
in the practice of law.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I feel very, very blessed as well to have a partner like that really keeps me focused, helps me when I've, gone astray, when I shouldn't have. Very, very strong partner. And
Well, you have 20 things going on at once, or you have, not that I don't, they're just different things. And so when you're juggling the same things, you can lose focus. And so many times he'll say to me, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? I'm like, I do X. And he's like, no, because it did, and he'll argue with me for 15 minutes. And then in the end, he'll call me and be like, I did X and it was perfect. And I'm sorry. But,
Yeah.
that's where we just have to, and he supports me in different ways. And that's where, your wife is supporting you and you guys have positions and where you're at. And that's what God is giving each person the skills to be able to be successful for your family and for your business.
yeah, I posted this on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and it's great words to live by. Most women want a man who's already successful. A strong woman will be part of his struggle, survive it, succeed together, and build an empire. And I think that's the women that we're talking about, our wives. At least I feel so, and it certainly sounds like you do as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, I mean, again, we go on, walks daily and in the afternoon, and it's kind of just that time to vent, but, challenge each other, support. Hey, what's going on in our lives? And again, you have to be proactive. I think that's another secret thing that a lot of people think they're proactive about certain things, but life just happens. And again, when you look at your day, it flies by every day. And then we can look back and go, oh my gosh, can you believe we're in this month already?
Yeah.
And Christmas happens
Yeah.
every year on December 25th, like crazy. But if you're not intentional about that year, and that's why a lot of people, when they do goal setting, they'll do it around New Year's resolutions, things like that. I actually do it on my birthday. So again, if I'm given a new year by God, I want to look back and go, all right, what am I going to accomplish this year? What do I want my faith to accomplish? What do I want my family to accomplish? And it is kind of really hysterical when I look back on my 21-year-old self to see what goals he had versus where we're at now. But again, that's the perspective that, you look back and that I think is where a lot of the faith and trust of looking back and going, look what God did there. And we went through a tough season during that time of life, and look what God did there. So again, it's remembering the past and the faithfulness of what God has brought you through to know that even in the midst of, right now, I feel like my phone is just getting blown up with people having just struggle after struggle after struggle. And there's something going on, again, whether it's in our nation, whether it's in our faith, but God is going to do something. God is doing something. And so being able to rely on that faith and have that peace, I don't know how people without faith do it. And even in entrepreneurials, I'm a steward of God's business that he's entrusted me to. that takes a layer of pressure off of me because it's his business. Like, yes, I'm working hard. I'm trying my best to provide for my family and for the people that work for us. But at the end of the day, I have to trust God and go,
Right.
okay, God, this is hard. But you're going to get us through it.
Yeah, and I love what you're talking about the nightly walks with your wife. Those are so important for an entrepreneurial couple, really any couple, to connect on a deep basis daily like that. And Megan and I just recently said, you know what, we need to start floating in the pool daily. It's like we did that over the weekend, and we're like, this is such a wonderful time for us where we're talking, we're just spending time together and just focusing. And then you just never know where the conversation is going to take you. And it's really, really important for any couple.
That's right.
So I love that you guys do that.
Yeah. No, it's, again, you have to be able to take care of your four walls, first. Otherwise, everything else outside of it, it's easy to lose track of it. But there's been seasons where, I've had to come home and pull my kids and wife in and apologize and say, Dads, I've been too busy. I've been, I haven't prioritized this. Like, again, there was a time where literally I was in full-time ministry up until a month ago, doing 2 full-time jobs. And that's hard, but again, I'm trying to sacrifice, like, I don't want my family feeling it. I don't want the ministry to obviously feel it or the business. So, what takes the hit is myself, my personal health, my personal, instead of going to the gym first thing in the morning, I'm now checking another 2 hours of emails that weren't piling up in the inbox before the day started. So,
Sure.
So it is hard because as an entrepreneur, you're it. Like, the buck stops with you. Can't just like, well, my day's over, so that's done.
Do you find that there are times and places that you and your wife have drawn a line and said, okay, this is where it does stop. We have to take this time. You mentioned the walks, and I don't know if that's the time, but I know that Megan and I did that with our law firm years ago, where I could literally practice and work on my cases probably around the clock if I wanted to and had the energy, but that's not something that is fulfilling for our lives. It's not something that we believe God wants us to do. And so we made a decision years ago, weekends, nights, those are for the family. And so is there anything like that, any boundaries that you have where you actually have gotten to that point where you say, okay, this is where we're cutting it off for just a time?
Yeah. And I would say it's still a work in progress, right? Like, even with my business partner and I, we had to figure out, like, do we stop texting at a certain time of night? Because again, we're always on, and it could even just be something as simple as a casual comment or a casual conversation, nothing even work related, but it still triggers that work dynamic. And so being able to put those guardrails in place, like, you've got to set what's, good for your family to say, hey, when I'm home, I'm home. When I'm working, you guys get 150% of everything. But it is really hard. And again, to honor a Sabbath of, can I go a full day and not do work? Like, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, and admittedly, these are our goals. We've made those rules. Sticking to it is something altogether different.
Jack, he follows the Sabbath every week. He's so faithful with that. And every Friday, he's like, Mom, no, we can't do that. He's been so good at that. And it's just with the law firm, and then with Tones and Bones and the podcast, I said, my calendar is like a rainbow. I've got personal, I got the podcast calendar color, I got Tones and Bones color, I got the law firm. And then for me, I'm up at 3 a.m. scrolling ideas. Well, we could do this for Tones and Bones. Oh, we could do this for the podcast. Oh, we could advertise for this for the law firm. And I'm constantly going and going and going. And I get to the point where, I start not feeling good, or I have a headache, or I'm just stressed out. And Ken will then be like, you're done. You just need to go. Even Gordon, I don't know if you know Gordon Wickert, and he'll be like, Megan, because I think we were at Tones and Bones a few weeks ago, and he goes, you look so tired. I said, well, this concert, and then my phone was going off till 11 o'clock at night about this and this and this and this. He's like, no. He's like, I don't know if Ken tells you this, but you need to just, from even 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., you need to just say no texting. But I've always got so many things going on where I feel like if I drop a ball, then it's an opportunity that I'm missing. But I need to just trust God that if that's an opportunity that And I don't even think an opportunity for me. I feel like I'm always going, we have a responsibility to the people that we've told that we have responsibilities for, the people that work for us at the law firm, for our family, for the community, for everything that we have going on. I just feel like every second, if I have a minute to think about something with one of our businesses, I should be doing that. And I think it just can get overwhelming.
A few years back, one of the best things my wife and I ever did was go through the exercise of a life plan. And one of the key things that it had in there was a replenishment cycle. And so it gave her an opportunity to literally write down what fuels you up? What are the things that you actually need to do to get you back to like the best version of yourself? Because again, I could feel guilty going, I've got a bunch of emails that just came in my inbox. Or could I go to the driving range and hit golf balls? Like that's going to actually like help me maybe think of some things that I wasn't thinking of or whatever.
Right.
And so it's easy to like put those things aside and then you're just stuck in the work mode, which again is that perpetual cycle of stress and they're always going to be there.
Yeah.
Like I have yet to wake up to an inbox that's empty yet.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. But I have to go carve out that stuff. So it can feel guilty going, I'm going to go do this. And again, for her, it's kind of ironic because in the past, it could be seen as almost a conflict between couples where if I came home and I would see Netflix had been watched for like 2 episodes or something, I may flippantly go like, oh, well, what's new with, The Amazing Race or something? Well, that's her replenishment cycle.
Right.
So I have to give her the freedom of this is what she needs in order for when the kids are home or when we're doing our business that she is filled up. And in the same token, she knows that I got to go out and go hit some golf balls to get myself back to where I'm at.
Because then you can't give 100% because you're giving everybody only 20% of you because you're not filled up. And if the time you're trying to fill up is because you're not feeling good, that's not really filling yourself up. You're just stressed and you're just trying to be like, please, like for me, because I'm, 52 and I have hormone issues and, I'm that age where it's just like, please. And now Skyla's home homeschooling with ASU and it's, Mom, I'm already done with my work. Can we do 15 things? And then I end up feeling guilty because I'm like, okay, let's just, and where does that guilt come from? I think CCB was talking about that this weekend with control.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the illusion of control for business owners, it's hard because we're the ones responsible at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. We get the good, we get the bad. And again, it's on us to make things happen. Now, again, we rely on God. We know that we're giving him the glory. We know that he's the one that's making it all happen. But that's the struggle of the entrepreneur is going, well, I have the burden. I have to.
You still feel all of that on your shoulders.
And it's also hard too with the nonprofit. I've had people come up to me and go, you know what? It irritates me when I see you asking for people to help with the nonprofit, even though we pay for the whole building, 6,500 square feet. We pay for it. Irritates me that I see you going on vacation on your social media. Every dollar you have should be going to that nonprofit. And I think, well, I'm sorry. Now should I hide the fact that I go on vacation? I'm not allowed to go on vacation. And that's the hard part with doing ministry is people watching that aspect, which they have no idea how much it's costing us to support everything that we're doing.
Right.
That I do need that vacation. Mm-hmm. I do need that break. And that's being judged as well.
Right.
How do you deal with that?
I also think you cannot discount what happens with your ability to be creative when you're doing the relaxing things, when you're on vacation, when you're on the driving range and allowing your mind to just flow and relax. And that's when a lot of ideas will hit you. Mm-hmm. And so you can't discount that because when you're focused on your emails, when you're focused on getting this task done and that task done, you oftentimes don't have the creativity ability to say, well, how about if I do this for the business?
But when you come back from vacation, how many times do business owners go, I'm relaxed, and then it's slammed with 20 things that are broken?
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Right. You're like, oh, I guess that's all wasted, that relaxation, because now I'm with 20 different issues and they look to you to make the decision about it, right?
Well, and right or wrong, again, this is something that I'm challenged in. When I go on vacation, I actually find it more relaxing to get up before the family does, knock out an hour of work so that when I get back, I don't have that buildup of a million things I got to take care of. Now, again, it's hard because then you don't want to overstep and like that you're working while you're on vacation, but I struggle. It's hard for me to like shut it.
He does that.
Yeah.
But one time it was funny. We were going to Canada, or we were going somewhere, and I went to the law firm and I said, listen, we are literally going on this vacation, and unless it's an emergency, you are not getting a hold of Ken. You can come to me, because what happens with Ken is once he goes down that road, that's all he can think about all day long. He's not like that anymore. But that vacation, he looked at me and he's like, you're working. Because I started getting all these messages from people that got in accidents and needed this and needed that. And he's like taking pictures of me and sending it to the office because he's like, look, it's 8 p.m. and we're at dinner and we're supposed to be relaxing.
Look
and
who's working.
Megan is working. But
I do want to highlight though what you just touched on, because I think it is important. You do get attacked by people that you wouldn't assume that you're going to be attacked by. And again, the hard thing is you try to rationalize the irrational. It's easier when it's people that don't have similar beliefs or similar faith. There's a lot of greed inside the church.
there is.
And that's the hardest to swallow, because again, we should be the biggest champions of each other. We should be out there going, hey, if anybody should be crushing it in business, it should be believers. We should be supporting each other. There's enough of the world trying to tear us down, trying to tear down the values, the beliefs, it always baffles me. And again, that's where you have to, again, know who your inner circle is, know who the voices are that are speaking truth in your life. It is healthy to have people that will challenge you, that will call you out when you need to, but not tear you down.
No,
and that's okay to have those boundaries too, to go, we can be friendly, but I don't need to be their friend. And I think that's hard sometimes for us to wrestle, but it's actually really freeing to say it, to just be like, yes. And I'll tell our kids the same thing. You can be friendly to everybody, but you have absolutely zero responsibility to be a friend.
And that's what I'm learning with, I didn't know. I thought, oh, they're a godly person. Of course we'll bring them in. Then I see mooching happening, and then I see this, and then I see like me building a boundary going, this isn't what it is. And then that Christian never talking to you again because you put up a boundary. Or, when we had the nonprofit starting, I had females that I thought were our friends going, well, you don't know the Bible as much as us. Why do you get to do that? And I'm like, whoa, what? I don't know. Like, I don't think of myself so highly. God opened this up to us, and this is what God wanted us to do. And I'm doing it. Why are you? Well, you're just the disco ball that is all sparkly, that knows nothing. That's going to, and it's like, wait a minute. These are Christian women who you see every day that are like, we're so amazing. These big groups of women, and you see and I'm like, but you're not that nice.
Yeah, you mentioned greed. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of jealousy too.
100%.
And those two things are awful for believers to bring to other believers.
That's right.
I wholeheartedly agree with you about how we should be encouraging each other.
Yeah, and it does make me personally pause, because like on the Enneagram, I don't know if you guys follow personality traits or anything like that, but every business could focus on like a disc or something, but there is value to understanding personalities and how you interact with each other. So I'm an 8, which again, you can be a healthy 8, or I can be an 8-hole. I don't know if you'd have to bleep that out on your podcast, but I can be a good version of myself or not. And it's easy sometimes if I see something that's black and white for me to go, that's wrong. I've had to learn to pause in how I respond to people, where I know what it's like to be the recipient of that. And so at some point it's like, is it really valuable for me to step in? Or are there some things where I'm not like being complacent or, being a promoter of something, but it's also maybe not worth it in the long run for me to engage in X, Y, Z. And that's hard, but again, where there's battles, I'll go to battle, and you want me on your side.
An 8, which one is that?
So driver.
I know I'm the driver, or like I'm driver inclusive. The type, I can't remember. I've taken all the tests, but I'm this person where it has to make sense. So like, given a situation, we had someone where they didn't like us, right? Can you make this better with them? Of course, they're not in my inner circle. It means, of course, I can make it better. When would you like to meet up? And then them not wanting to make it better because they have personal issues. For me, it doesn't make sense. I'm one of these people that are logical, going, you be an adult, I'll be an adult. Let's just say we agree to disagree, and be cordial for the kingdom and let's move on. I don't understand where people are so emotional in that sense, where they'd rather not move forward for the kingdom or not move forward for the sake of just moving forward.
That's right.
Where my personality is like, of course, let's just move forward and we can just have our own thoughts of things. I am annoyed at flakiness. I'm annoyed because we're all trying to do something, whether it's be a better person or be a good mom or be a better business person or whatever. And I just can't stand incompetent behavior. It annoys me.
Yeah, well,
and I don't want to be
say
around.
what you mean and mean what you say.
Right.
And
Let
follow
your
through
yeses
with
be
it.
yeses. You know, there's plenty of times where I agree to do something that I don't want to do. And I'm 52 years old and I'm like, why did I agree to do that? But I still have to go and I still have to do it. You still have to show up, right?
You know, one of the hard things to reconcile is we all have the same playbook with faith, and or at least a similar playbook when it
Right.
comes to faith. And when you see people acting differently, of going, hey, just at the baseline, like we all have a certain expectation of how we should be engaging with each other, or how what we say we do, or, you know, are we going to hold our integrity in this moment, or even how we have hard conversations. Like there's a great playbook in the Bible on how we do a lot of these things.
Right.
And it does translate into business, which is interesting to see how refreshing it actually is for people, because it's not common and it's not the standard for people to be treated like that. Like again, go back to my early days with the business. I wanted everybody to take my phone call about a big silly hat that they had no idea that they needed in their industry. To this day, I will take phone call after phone call or meeting after meeting on things that people go, is that really worth your time? Is that value add for you? But again, like you're never at a level where you should not be ever reaching out and trying to help other people or trying to encourage them. Because again, at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do is just help each other. And again, have everybody be encouraged, because there's so much negativity out there trying to take
Without a
everybody
doubt.
the other way.
And we were talking before we started recording this, with your business, you guys are also pouring into some charitable work as well. Why don't you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the hats at different events are fun, and in sporting events when we see it on the Jumbotron, like that's great. But the real heartwarming stuff happens when we're at these events for charities. And, you know, some of the really cool things we've been part of is like Make-A-Wish, and being able to have these hats go to kids that are struggling, literally fighting for their life, puts it in perspective. And again, a lot of them have lost their hair due to the treatments, and they put the hat on. It again, the parents are like, the smiles that these kids
bet
have
they
had,
love
like
it.
they're battling every day, and to have a moment where they get to just be a kid, have fun, get to see it, time and time again at different charity events, we've seen the hats raise thousands of dollars for those charities, just because it is a cool piece for that donor to have, or feels special about that cause. But yeah, time and time again, that's the stuff that's rewarding, and getting to see our hats in places with charities doing some amazing things. And it resets your kind of perspective on maybe it wasn't that really hard of a week if I knew what those parents are going through or what those kids are going through. So it's great therapy for us as well.
I love that. I feel that way with Tones and Bones. You know, we're stressed out, or, you know, this is going on, that's going on. And, you know, Gabe, our other Gabe who works for us, he has Ignite Fire, and he'll be like, oh, we're having an Ignite Fire at Tones and Bones, and can you guys work the snack bar because my girlfriend, whatever. And we're like, of course, you know, attorney by day, snack bar by night. And so we go over and we do the snack bar, and Ken and I sit together and we see everybody worshiping. And it's like, it doesn't matter whatever else is going on. We get to provide a space where these people get to come and worship the Lord. And I remember one night, this guy came in with a friend, and he goes, I see him. He goes, it's going to be okay. We can sit here and worship the Lord together. And he had his arm around him, and he was going through something. And it made everything worth it. It made everything worth it, because at the end of the day, it matters what Jesus does in everybody's lives. You know? And to me, that, like for you, seeing those kids wearing those hats and smiling, that's the heart of what I feel like, and I'm sure you too. Whereas all this busyness and all this work, at the end of the day, if Jesus is the one who matters most, and you seeing that through what you're doing, it makes everything come full circle.
Yeah, and I would agree. One of the hardest parts for me is to actually, because again, as the chief everything officer, you're going for what's next, what's next, what's next. There's been many times where, and this is not a natural muscle group for me to exercise, but our team's gotten better at going, can we just pause for a second? Can we look around? So again, if we're going to an event and we're like, guys, can we just pause? Like, how crazy is this right now? Look what God has done. Look at the doors he's opened. Like, and it's okay to celebrate. You got to celebrate. You got to have some wins. You got to fuel that fire on the positive side. Because again, you could look around and go, man, we missed this opportunity. We forgot about that. We could have done this. But just pause and go. Like the verse where he says, he leads me by still waters. He lays me down. It doesn't say like he asked me to go by still waters. Like God has to like literally force me down and say, okay, stop, like lay down. I don't just naturally do that.
Sure.
That's not my personality type. So again, like knowing those rhythms are important and trying to be strategic about it and make it, part of your natural life.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, what's the future hold for Noggin Boss?
So, you talked about Major League Baseball, new licenses, new opportunities, international growth, expansion. Literally we're just scratching the surface, and we're excited about growing the team, growing different partnerships within the spaces. But sports is one whole area, but even businesses, we're getting businesses that reach out because they're seeing what the hats do for their side, and it is just an untapped market. And so we're excited to explore that. And again, just watching how they're using them in marketing. Again, we're watching innovation happen on something that we didn't even see, maybe new channels and new opportunities for.
Well, however we can help support you, we are here, and you let us know, and we'd love to support what you're doing because we think it's great.
Well, thank you. And again, keep doing what you guys are doing. Keep, lifting positive news and giving people hope and encouragement out there, because it's needed now more than ever.
And so, Gabe, where's my hat?
Well, so we have a saying that you use your noggin and you be a boss. So we have created a custom one of one.
Look at that.
We love your logo, by the way.
Yay.
It's super fire. Look
Wow.
at that.
Look at that.
Is it even? Do I have it even?
Yeah.
Is my head crooked? No.
As the kids say, that's tough. I'm not allowed to use any of those words. I get told it's cringe whenever I use them.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yes,
yeah.
I get. I love it. How cute is this? Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having us.
So now we have a game
Okay.
for you to play.
We call this the cross-examination of, and so obviously this is the cross-examination of Gabe Cooper.
Okay.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask you 20 questions. That's the cross-examination. But this one's a little bit different because you're going to be holding on to some electrodes. And as the questions move forward, the shock value gets higher.
Wow. Okay.
Are we ready?
Are you ready,
Let's
Gabe?
go.
All right.
Okay.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
First celebrity crush?
Oh my gosh. First celebrity crush. Winnie from the Wonder Years.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
In and Out.
If you could only use one emoji forever, which one?
The winky face.
Text or phone call?
Text.
Who's funnier, you or your best friend?
I'm a wuss. Sorry, what was the question?
Who's funnier, you or your best friend?
Oh, me for sure.
Pineapple on pizza, or yes or no?
No.
What's the last show you binge watched? You're past Ken.
Invasion.
If you had to sing one karaoke song right now, what would it be?
Help. I don't know. Is that a song?
Who's your favorite superhero?
I'm done.
Are you done?
I'm done.
You got to 11.
Oh my gosh. I'm a
Officially.
wuss.
That is awesome.
Well, that was fun, Gabe. Thanks so much.
Heck yes.
Gabe, where can people find a hat?
So nogginboss.com, you can order your licensed product, or you can make a full custom with your business logo, just like that.
Yay!
All right.
Now I'm so cute. Thank you for joining us on Cross Examine with the Gerbers. And don't forget, we do own Gerber Injury Law. So if you are injured, reach out and we would love to help you. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye.